Theorem number 1 states that the measure of the central angle is equal to its intercepted arc. Consider our given diagram. If angle CAB is equal to 46 degrees, its intercepted arc CB is also 46 degrees. Thus, if angle CAB is equal to 46 degrees, then arc CB is also equal to 46 degrees. Conversely, if one of the arcs is, let's say the arc BE is 168 degrees, it follows that its central angle or corresponding central angle BAE is also 168 degrees. So, arc BE is 168 degrees, then it follows that angle BAE is also 168 degrees. Theorem number 2 states that in a circle or in a congruent circles, two minor arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding central angles are congruent. So consider this diagram. So arc CB and arc DE are congruent because of this indicator. So this tells us that although we do not know their measure, but we know that they are congruent because of this indicator. If these two arcs are congruent, it follows that the corresponding central angles are also congruent. So if CB and DE are congruent, then, or angle CAB and angle DAE are congruent, then it follows that CB and DE are also congruent. Theorem number 3 states that in a circle or in a congruent circles, two minor arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding chords are congruent. So in our diagram, notice that chord AB and chord BC are congruent because of this indicator. So this tells us that this arc AB is congruent to arc CB. So if AB and BC are congruent, then it follows that the arc AB and arc BC are also congruent. Theorem number 4 states that in a circle, a diameter bisects a chord and an arc with the same endpoints if and only if it is perpendicular to the chord. So in our given diagram here, we have a diameter PH and a chord IG. So since this diameter HP intersects chord IG in 90-degree angle, so it forms a perpendicular intersection. So this tells us that this diameter bisects the chord IG. So it means if IG measures 14 units from I going to G, if it is bisected by this diameter, GH will be equal to 7, which is half of 14, and the other half, HI, is also 7. Theorem number 5 states that in the same circle or in a congruent circles, chords equidistant from the center are congruent. So, given this circle X, if there are two chords given, chord AB and chord CD, if the distance of chord AB to X is, let's say, 5 units or 5 centimeters, so from here, going here, it's 5 centimeters. Similarly, chord CD is also 5 centimeters from the center of the circle. So since their distance to the center are the same, this tells us that the measure of chord AB and chord CD are congruent based on our theorem number 5. Thus, AB is congruent to CD. It means they have the same measure. Arc addition postulate states that the measure of an arc formed by two adjacent arcs is the sum of the measures of the two arcs. So in our given circle, we have here an angle DAB. If angle DAC is 70 degrees and angle CAB is 30 degrees, to find the measure of angle DAB, just simply add these two angles. So add angle DAC and angle CAB and you will get the angle DAB. So DAC is 70 degrees, CAB is 30 degrees. Therefore, our angle DAB is 100 degrees.